I told Dan he needed to be in the big chair. He's got to do that. Yes.
Okay, is there any public comment on any item on the agenda tonight?
I'm not sure.
Seeing none, we'll move forward. Approval of minutes from the February 10th, 2025 meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes in a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the minutes of the February 10th, 2025 meeting. All four, say aye.
Aye.
All against, the ayes have it. And correspondence to study commission update. Kim, I'm going to move you down. We have a presentation tonight from Mr. Bob Worley, who was a member. Matt's here. Hey, Matt, congratulations, by the way, buddy. AD of the Frontier, AD of the Year for the Frontier Conference. Yeah, good man.
Wow.
And congratulations
All
to your
right.
congratulations to your son too. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, we'll move Bob Worley up front. He has a presentation to give us. Bob was on the 2004-2006 study committee. He was the chair. And Bob, we'll leave it up to you. Please come up to the microphone and identify yourself, and we'll go forward.
She's got a whole stack of them down there.
Yeah, I'm Bob Worley, and I was chairman of the study commission 2004 to 2006. And I was asked by Ray Lynn and by Cindy Shaw to maybe come up and just do a little presentation and try and help you guys along with the study commission. I have a handout I'm going to give out first that Cindy was good enough to get for us, and this just happens to be on the proposals that we ended up with when we finished with the study commission, the things we came up with. There are 5 of them on this sheet, and we can visit about those if somebody wants to. Do you want to hand them out? Okay, thank you. And one thing I'm kind of proud of is we put 5 things on the ballot and we passed all 5 of them. So that made us feel pretty good. I think that's the first time there's been a study commission that has passed all the items that they had on the ballot. So first off, I was going to thank Chairman Raylyn Brandel, but I understand she's sick tonight. So thanks to Dan for letting me just say a few words, and also Cindy Shaw, who has been instrumental in me being here this evening. So I understand you have a new county attorney in Matt Enruth. I haven't seen Matt here tonight. And also I'd like to thank Kim Cohn, who she's ex officio for this particular study commission, and she's going to be the working part of this for you guys. Whenever you need anything done, Kim's the one you want to get a hold of. So I guess the one thing that I want to talk about tonight is the different types of government that are available. And I know there's been a lot of talk in Butte-Silver Bow about a city manager with a commission. This is one of the things that that is used in 14 of the larger cities, or 7 of the larger cities, and about 7 of the smaller cities in Butte. And I keep thinking about numbers with Butte. We're 36,000 people, but Belgrade, West Yellowstone, Polson, and Columbia Falls all have city managers. So it is possible that type of government can work in with Butte-Silver Bow. We now, as you know, are under a chief executive and a council which serves government as they are today. So some of the advantages of a city manager are the fact that he's educated, goes to school, understands budgets, understands marketing, understands how the laws in government work. And I think this is a real advantage, and I might be pushing city manager, but I think this might be good for Butte-Silver Bow and your charter to consider this as far as a change in government when you put this on the ballot 2 years down the road now. So one of the disadvantages of a city manager is that he's probably going to cost you more money. Their salaries are usually higher than what you pay chief executives. But you'll probably reduce the number of commissioners that you have, and that's another thing that's going on. Even if we stay with the existing type of government, chief executive elected and a council, there's been so much talk in town about 12 commissioners being too many for Butte-Silver Bow. And I think this is one of the things that is on your agenda for down the road. So those are things that you should consider. I guess the one thing that I think about too is with all the members that are on this board, you're important to the city. I mean, this is a big job that you have to do, and because you're going to live by whatever you do here over the next 2 years and put on the ballot. This is the way the government is going to operate for the next 10 years. Now, we were unlucky enough. We ended up, they didn't vote for a study commission 10 years ago, so we've actually lived with bylaws or a charter that is actually 20 years old right now. I'm sure it needs upgrading, updating, just general wording in there, and then, like I say, there might be some other changes that you want to make within the government. One of the things that chief executives try to do, and this goes back to even before the change of the turn of the century, and we discussed it, and that was eliminating 2 positions in government, that being the auditor and the assessor. Both of these items, both of these things are taken care of now by state government, and there's money there that we're probably spending, or the county is spending, that we probably don't have to spend. So you want to get in and do general housekeeping things of the charter. There's probably, and these are things, and it's probably going to be important that when you talk to the different department heads, that you'll want to ask them what they think of the charter and things that can be changed, that can maybe cleaned it up to make it easier to operate. So I think that's really important. You want to make sure that you get all the department heads here, or anybody that's within a department that you feel can help you, or even citizens outside. That's so important. This is their government. And it's important that anybody that has a word, that wants to come before you, encourage them. Encourage them to come up and talk before you so that these things can be handled and we get a smoother operating, better charter when it's all over 2 years from now. So a couple of things that we did, and we passed 5 ordinances when I ran study commission, and I think they were important. One thing that we did was we took the animal control out of community enrichment and made it a separate department. And I've noticed over the last 20 years how things have really cleaned up around town as far as animal control is concerned. People walk their dogs, most of them are on leads, and most dogs are pretty well attended. And I'm proud of that particular thing that we done with our study commission. So I don't know, does anybody have any questions or anything that they'd like to ask? Maybe something that I haven't covered or anything? Go ahead, Cindy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Bob, for being here. Really appreciate your insights. So can you speak to, there were 2 buckets. One, proposals for voting, which is this, and the 5 things the citizens of Butte voted on.
Okay.
But there was also a bucket of recommendations that you gave to the county attorney. Can you speak to those and whether or not those were implemented, or what happened with those, or what do you think about those?
Well, the only thing that I know is the 5 that we proposed that went on the ballot. At that time, we had a different county attorney than you have today. And to my knowledge, no, none of those were ever carried out any further. And that kind of bugged me, and I think it bugged the rest of the study commission, but no, to my knowledge, none of those ever got any further than that.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So knowing that, that was actually a big question and a big issue that I had personally as a taxpayer, not having any of those implemented. But our new county attorney has said to this group a couple weeks ago that he is going to look at both buckets and move forward. So that's actually a good thing. So thank you.
That's a good thing. And I know we've had a change in county attorneys this year. The previous, this goes back through 3 county attorneys from Bob on through, and even to the appointed one that was here for not a long period of time. But no, I'm glad we have, I think change is good, and I think he can really assist you as far as a new county attorney with this, and he comes out of another county attorney office in Anaconda, so I think that he'll be very helpful for you guys within your charter. And use him. I mean, that's what he's there for. He's an elected official, and use him just like he used any of the department heads. Call him to meetings. If you have questions, have him come before you and speak. It's important. Like I say, you're going to live with this charter for 10 years, at least 10 years, maybe more. And so anybody that you want to get out here and give you information on anything within the county, do that. I think it's important. Also, if you have, if there are any citizens that, I really like the idea that this is being streamed now. And every once in a while I'll get on streaming and watch the Council of Commissioners meeting, but these being streamed like this, people can get on the website and watch this. That's important. It'll probably make more people interested in what you're trying to do here for the government. And they should be interested in this because, again, like I said, it's something they're going to live with as far as a charter is concerned and the way they're governed for the next 10 years.
Bob, I'm sorry, any other questions for Bob? Bob, I have a question regarding your 5 amendments to the charter that were approved by the voters. The piece of paper you have in front of us, was that a part of the newspaper as a part of that as the study commission went on? These are our 5 amendments, and that was publicized in the newspaper, and so people could understand what your changes were? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was, Cindy has the paper copy right there.
Thank you, Cindy.
And
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's my question. Thank you.
yep. So if there's nothing else, I'll leave. Go ahead, Matt.
Mr. Vice Chair, Bob, thanks for coming tonight. I had one question. I'm trying to grasp the scope of work that we need to do, and talking with Cindy and yourself, it's nice to have the input. I was wondering, what other areas of government were you able to influence besides the charter? Were there just recommendations to ordinances, or is that what you focused on? Is it just what is in the charter, or what else, if anything, were you able to influence that you guys felt you had a part in at that time? Thank you.
I've kind of covered the things that we discussed, and maybe Cindy can help me. That's 20 years ago, and it's a long time. If I miss something, Cindy might be able to help me out. But no, we started on page 1 of the charter, and we went through it word by word for word and made changes that we felt had to be made, or discussed those things. And if there were changes to be made, it came before the entire commission. So kind of the way it's done, and I'm hoping that you guys will do that the same way that you'll, and I think Dan and Raylyn will cover that in a manner that that you read the charter totally and totally understand it, you know, so that if you have questions even amongst yourselves, make sure you ask questions. That's when you're going to learn. This is a whole new experience for the 9 guys that are that are sitting here. And I really commend you for running and being elected to this thing, because it's not an easy situation to come up here and go through a charter and revise it to where it comes out better than what you guys go into it. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bob and I had a couple of discussions before he came out here. Back 20 years ago, I had been in Butte for 6 years. I've been here now 28 years. So 6 years, I didn't know a whole lot of people, and I noticed that, I just was interested in I ran for assessor, which I didn't make it even through the primary in '04, but then the study commission came up, and I thought it would be a great way to learn about my government. And boy, I'll tell you what, I know exactly how all you feel, because I was like a deer in a headlight.
Yeah, right
and
on.
What an education. And we didn't really have training, not like we're being, they had a couple of things you could go to, like a one-day seminar type of thing, but the training now is really a lot more elaborate, and we didn't have laptops or cell phones. We did everything on paper, but the coolest part was department heads, and we wanted to make sure they felt comfortable, that we weren't after their jobs or anything, or it wasn't a gripe session, or, I always tell them, toot your horn, tell us all the great things that your department does. But that, to me, was a huge education, and I think we might just get some good ideas of things that people might like to see done.
Yeah, Dan and Cindy are both, Cindy sitting on the year that I was elected for study commission, and Dan has acted as an ex officio member of a previous study commission. When was that, Dan? In 88 or 86? 1984. Okay. But again, this is how you learn in these things, and I commend Cindy. Like Cindy said, she ran for assessor in 2004. She was not elected to that position, so she ran for study commission in the fall of the year when the election came on, and was elected to study commission. So, and she's been a commissioner for 16 years after that, and has done an excellent job as a commissioner. Has a lot of knowledge, and I think if you want one person that understands government from the council side and the other side, go to Cindy. She's got answers. So anytime you need her, and I think she's already agreed to do that for anybody that needs help with government or anything goes on with it, because she understands the charter.
Mr. Vice Chair, if I might, and I think my questions were basically answered, but Mr. Worley, thank you for the information. This is really helpful in providing some context as to our mission. But I'd be curious, you talked about some of the challenges that maybe you guys faced as a commission, and what lessons from those processes would you pass on to this commission?
Challenges we had, I think we're just, maybe Cindy said it, you're like a deer in the headlights, you go into this thing and it's a learning situation. From page 1 right straight through the end of the charter, and as you go through the charter, you'll get more comfortable with it and reading it and following through with it. But I don't know of anything that that we really got hung up on. The charter, it's not Greek or anything, so it's something you should be able to follow without a problem. So, but that's another thing. And anybody that has a question and they think I can answer it, I'm around. And if you want to call me, give me a call, or even have me come back up to the meeting for things too. I have no problem with being up here. I'm a citizen of Butte-Silver. I was born and raised here. I want us to have a good government. I want us to have a good charter. So I'm available anytime that you feel that you want me to come up and talk to you about anything within the charter. I'll do that, or even government in itself. I'm not sure I can always help, but I'll sure try. Okay. Thanks for having me here tonight. I appreciate it. I hope I enlightened you some and that you learned some things out of this. But again, if there are questions you have, call. Okay? Thank you. Sure.
So getting back to the agenda. We have correspondence and updates for the study commission and a report from Kim as the ex officio member.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. We didn't have any correspondence in our mailbox so far. I had asked the IT department if maybe it would be a good idea for us to have a general email. And apparently there's been one set up called BSB Study Commission at bsb.mt.gov. And they recommended I talk to Barb Davies about any like legal issues about who would have access to that, how we'd use it. And she said that maybe Ray Lynn would be the one to have the access to it. We would probably post it on our main page through the city site, just for people to, for the general public, to send emails and questions or suggestions. So since Raylan's not here tonight, I'll talk with her about that. And then the other communication, I don't remember if I forwarded this to you or not. It was from the Extension Service. You all had expressed some interest in having them come and talk to us. And apparently they're, depending on what bundle we have, and I sent an email out asking which bundle we got. I haven't gotten an answer yet. But whatever bundle we have, then we have like so much assistance, but it's not like they come here in person. It would be over a Zoom call or video call or something like that. So I don't know if we want to have another outside meeting to handle that for further training or not, but I'll leave that up to you. I think I did forward that to you. If not, let me know and I will forward that to you. And that's all I have. Oh, I had one question. Apparently I'm probably going to, I checked the mailbox, and apparently I'll be getting like financial statements. So we have a cost distribution report, which is basically just my paycheck. So I don't know if I should just put those in the minutes or in a separate little folder report, whatever.
Yeah, I think that is just an up-to-date kind of detailed budget of what we
Yeah.
have expended. And we're going to talk a little bit about
I'll just keep them.
the budget
Yeah.
in a second. But yeah, I
Yep.
would imagine, or yeah, I would suggest you keep
Yeah.
them and have it part of the record.
Yep, so that's the only thing, that's the only communications that I've got going.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kim, quick question just to ask generally, with the training MSU Extension, if it was on Zoom, because we're a quorum, would that have to also invite members of the public to watch? Or how does that work if they're
That
not in person?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think a lot of this is already in our training. So if we needed more, that's why I don't know if it would be considered extra training just for us. I'm not sure it would be appropriate. I don't know the legality of it, because, so, yeah.
I think what we would do, and I think a number of you expressed interest to have MSU come and provide us with information, as Mr. Worley did today, regarding the forms of government, self-governing powers, those sorts of things. I would think that we would probably advertise that on the agenda, saying that we are going to engage the MSU as part of some questions from the study commission, so it could be advertised so that people can see it on the agenda and people can be part of that either in person or by electronic means. But I would say that I would suggest that we do that with MSU and have it as a whole session of the study commission, but they bring in a lot of good expertise and a lot of understanding of what Montana does as a state. So they know a lot of things that Bob was talking about, study commissions and who who had different forms of government. But I think it's really important that that is part of it. It's really important that it's on the agenda, publicized, so people can be a part of that too. Mary?
I just have a quick question for Kim. What was the email address for our general? You said it really fast. Study commission?
Well, it's not set up yet.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Yeah, we
excuse
don't
me,
have
I'm sorry.
access to it.
Okay.
But, so don't send anything yet, because we don't have access, but it will be BSB Study Commission. All one string? Yeah, all one word, at bsb.mt.gov, yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Please, Dad.
Mr. Chair, Kim, and I guess all commissioners, with that gold package that we received, wasn't there credits that we could spend? And then to have they suggested at the local government committee that we would not individually spend all our credits on one question, but to be able to use multiple credits on the same question. Is that something that Kim maybe could answer, to figure out how many credits we are going to use based off how many questions and their time? I think it was related to time on, one credit was worth a half hour or something like that. And then also to give them the questions prior to, so we can be more efficient with our time. So that might be something to add, Kim, if it makes it more efficient. Thank you.
And I didn't know off the top of my head which package we had
Gold.
purchased. Gold? Well, that answers, I think, when you go in the training, that pretty much answers which one we get.
Any other questions for Kim? Seeing none, let's go to unfinished business. And timeline committee report, we had that 2 weeks ago, that the committee has worked on. I think we were pretty, can somebody hit my memory? Was there something that the county attorney was going to do, or were we just kind of reviewing that and coming back with a recommendation to approve that tentative timetable?
Mr. Chairman,
Laura?
we had scheduled it on this agenda tonight just to give all of the committee
good,
members an
right.
opportunity to look at it. We also had talked about that we would probably put it back on the, one of the April agendas, because it needs to be published by April 20th, but that would give us a little time to start with our department head and elected official meetings and kind of make sure our timeline looks good that we had estimated.
Lori, thank you for working on that. Go ahead, Cindy, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Lori, for all your work. But I just wanted to mention that one of the things our little subcommittee talked about was engaging the Montana Standard with advertising and other issues, and not to say that they're the only ones, but start with them. And I did have a conversation with Mike Smith, and he is ready, willing, and able to not only do earned media, which is him coming here and doing stories, but also in talking with our budget and what we as a committee or a commission feel is the best way to use resources to get the message out and to be transparent. So that's a good start.
Thank you, Cindy. Also, I'm not, my suggestion would be to look at the timeline that we put in and make it official, and then change it as we go. We'll have an idea of what department heads are going to be there. We're going to have plenty of time to make sure the public knows who those department heads and other city officials who we call for questions. And I would think that we would want that as a minimum to be publicized as quickly as possible. Just a suggestion. Cindy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree, and I believe we left a little wiggle room in a lot of these lines in order to do that.
Yes,
You
we
know,
did.
and I think, actually, the version I just got from Kim and her many things that she got ready for us on this, for this meeting, that we should just, I believe, accept this as printed, as presented, and then we can always amend it. I don't know, as one of the three probably didn't do as much work as Lori and Cindy did, but I just open that out to my fellow commissioners.
I would entertain a motion that we tentatively put the tentative timeline publicized and be approved and seconded today.
I would make that motion that we enter this timetable for the study commission actions and deliberations.
Motion was made by,
Second.
and by Cindy and second by Ben,
Okay.
that we do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Ayes have it.
Excuse me? Oh. I move that we accept the timetable as we have the most recent draft submitted to us for study commission deliberations and actions, and that we publicize it and make this our working timetable, and, you know, open to amendments in the future. I guess you could add that in there.
And it was
Got all that,
seconded by
Kim?
Ben. And approved.
Good.
You ready, Kim? Just give me a high sign if we're going too fast. Okay. Yes.
That does need to be published in the Montana
that's right.
Standard, Kim.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the way I hear you is that I should get on the move to get that published this
Absolutely.
week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you'll need a PO from the budget office for it, and then you submit to their legal, I think it's still Tina Sanford, and then she'll get it in.
And that will be under whatever, 370 or 330. Just to throw that in. So another unfinished business, the discussion of the draft bylaws. Have we any communication back from the county attorney's office?
I've not received anything.
Okay. I don't think we can approve the bylaws unless we have that question of proxy votes. So if we could remind the county attorney to provide us with his direction, and we will put that on as another unfinished business and have them approved at the next meeting. Any questions on that, or Cindy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, there's one correction I want to make, that we probably, just because we changed from Friday to Wednesday, it's in Part 2 procedures, just as a note that we would have our agenda done by, we'd have it submitted up to 12 o'clock and then available by 2 o'clock on Fridays. Right now it says Wednesday, or I meant Wednesday. Now it says Friday, just so we have that in our bylaws. We changed it from Friday to Wednesday when we would get it. Yeah, right now it says Friday at noon. So,
We can make that change, that edit change, that'd be great.
that's all I can find.
How about discussion of the budget? This is C that was inadvertently left off the agenda. It was a discussion of the budget. I guess we could put it in new business, but part of the discussion that we had as the budget subcommittee was, and it was given a presentation by Karen Hassler 2 weeks ago with what the budget transfer requests were and the line items. Any questions regarding that? I think that it was, this budget is typical of a local government budget. It has plenty of room for changes other than the 110 and 130 accounts, 140 accounts, or whatever it is, yeah, the personnel part of that. We can't change that, but the rest of them can be changed simply by talking to the budget office. So I would suggest that we approve the budget, and I'll listen to some comments. Seeing none, do I have a motion that we approve the study commission budget of 2004 and 2000 through 2006 at approximately $140,000 as the bottom line, and the line items that are associated with that budget?
I motion that we approve the budget as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the tentative budget that was done, was completed by the subcommittee and a presentation by the Budget and Finance Office be approved. All in favor? And seconded. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Seeing none, the tentative budget has been approved for this budget commission. Okay, new business. We heard from Bob. Subsection B, discussion of the criteria for evaluating the roles and responsibility of Butte-Silver departments, public officials, and other potential contributors, choosing questions, formats, and scheduling of interviews. Any discussion regarding that?
I do. Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher will be here at our next meeting on March 3rd. He will kick off our meetings with department heads. He has also let the department heads know that we will be calling and contacting them. But what I request from you tonight is more further direction about what he can expect and what they can expect when they come next week.
I think one of the suggestions that Ray Lynn sent this week or last week was the list of questions that MSU had provided study committee, study commission members. They're all over the board in terms of general questions and also very far-reaching. Have some very good questions regarding chief executives and other elected officials and other department heads and other local government officials regarding what they see as a problem or whether they see any problems or whether they would like to suggest changes to our current form of government. So I know one of the questions would be what questions to ask, which is, I guess that's the most important part of the questions, but I think there's a range of questions, and frankly, they can be all asked. Everybody could take a turn and look at that and have their own questions to ask to the officials of Butte-Silver. So if you haven't had a chance to review those, I would suggest we review them.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I read through them, and I believe we need to tailor them a little bit to the specific, department head, chief executive. There's some things in there that, like, does the government have an organizational chart? We have that now. We can eliminate that question, but I think we need to do some tailoring. So that's my suggestion, and maybe we can have another subcommittee to tailor these, and I'd be willing to help with that.
Cindy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I first saw Kim's note that JP was coming on March 3rd, I know just for myself, just to ask the question of the commission is, we're still getting going and getting the wheels turning and what, we're supposed to do for the next 2 years. So is it something in the past with other study commissions that, JP's right out of the gate, and can we call him back if we can, because I think there'll be things like, oh, I didn't think of that, or something to that effect. So could you let us know that?
Just by practical experience, you can call department heads and the chief executive and council commission members back as many times as you like. They're very willing to come and talk. And I would imagine JP would probably forget something and he's, oh gosh, I need to talk to that. So yeah, it's an open agenda, and if we need additional information, we can ask that department person to come back.
And I gave him an option of 3 dates, and that's the one he picked. So yeah, I think it was the 3rd, the 10th, and the 24th. And that's what he picked.
Cindy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have that list of questions, although I did see them in my training. I am doing my training. But I wondered if we can get a copy for all. I don't know if anybody else doesn't have that list of questions. Maybe I'm the only one. Okay,
Okay,
awesome.
Mary brought up a good point of maybe setting up another subcommittee of the question subcommittee that we can, pick a department head or a chief executive or whoever we're having here to look at those as a part of their questioning. I think that's probably a really good idea that we have that subcommittee available and tailor those questions to the personnel that we're going to have up here to talk to us a little bit about and their experiences and what they do.
And when Raylene and I were going back and forth on this, I had originally tailored the questions, and I think she had opened them up and just blocked all of the questions that came from
Okay.
the training.
Right.
But I will pull those out and send them out to you, too.
Do we have any volunteers for the questions subcommittee for Mary said she would be part of that.
I'd be happy to serve on that as well.
Okay, Matt and Chad.
Yes, I'd be happy to as well.
So Mary, Matt, and Chad?
Yes. So, dang it. God. Sound like my wife. Just kidding. God, please. That's where they get killed. Yeah, I think we can get together, and thank you for the volunteers. And at the same time, while we're doing that, I think we could schedule just for the people that we'll have coming to discuss what days they can expect. And we can probably do 2 or 3 a session in front of us, something like that. So if we could have the question subcommittee, I would guess public information subcommittee or something, to start putting a schedule together for interviews, that'd be great. And we can look at the organizational chart that was provided for us, thank you, Kim, and just kind of pull out, the executive branch government and other department heads and other departments and just start doing them. Any comments or questions on that? Ben?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you need one more, I'd help these two with the questions.
Great. Well, let's add Ben to the subcommittee.
And can I just remind the commission that we're skipping 1 week in March again? So if we have JP the 3rd, if we don't have somebody the 10th, I think we should really stack them up on the 24th or something. But just remember that we'll be missing that week on the 17th.
Which week? 17th? Okay.
And remember, these are all tentative timelines, so if we tend not to get people, can't schedule, and we can schedule them some other time that they really have their open schedule, that's fine, but we'll get there. We'll have plenty of time to have those interviews, so I wouldn't really get too wrapped around the axle if we don't get them all done in a month. Cindy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2 things. First of all, I would like to make sure that the general public, besides people that don't go on Facebook, would know that we are having, especially our chief executive, and, we love to have public input as much as possible and let them know.
Absolutely.
They might like to do that. So, I don't know, Cindy Purdue-Dolan, I don't know if that's up your alley, but, because you have a nice contact. Much contact there.
Mr. Chair and Cindy, I certainly will. I can
Okay.
certainly get in touch with the standard, but please let me know other ones that you'd like me to reach out to, and I'll certainly do that.
See if it can get put in one of our 3 newspapers like Saturday. And then the other point was we would have to have this done before Monday, I suppose, for our first interview.
So I'll leave it to the subcommittee to get together and have that discussion and have the interview for JP, the interview questions for him, in front of him to start deliberating his answers fairly quickly.
I told him that I'd get back to him like
Okay.
tomorrow or Wednesday. So
I'll leave it to the subcommittee to get together and And kind of like this chairmanship. Get together and schedule where everyone is comfortable with the scheduling and get that finished. Thank you. Any more questions on the discussion of the criteria, evaluating some of our addressing of the public officials and elected officials? Okay, seeing none. Number 9 is public hearings. I think that's in the timeline, and so the question, are we having them? Absolutely. And the listening sessions? Absolutely. So we will continue to move forward and adjust accordingly when we have that sort of discussion. Anything regarding the public hearing question? Other scheduled matters? Kim, is there something you need to, anything from the commissioners? Okay. Public comment on anything not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the study commission. Right before the meeting, Mr. Larry Winsell provided us with a package from, I believe, Great Falls Study Commission. It's a small package. It's probably something that each commissioner would like to read. And I will give this to Kim, hopefully, to make copies for the study commission for the next meeting. He thought this was good information, good reading from Great Falls, some of the information that they have done and some of the forms of government that they have approved. If we could have this in front of us at the next meeting, that'll be something additional information for the study commission to review while we're deliberating on what we're going to do in the future. So he also will be back at a later date to maybe give a small presentation or short presentation regarding this information. So Kim, if I could give this to you, if you could make some copies for the study commission and give them back to us.
They'll be in your box tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, thank you. Great. So any questions on public comment on anything not on the agenda tonight? Seeing none. Announcements. Meetings will be held every Monday at 5 p.m. except for federal holidays, and there will not be a meeting on St. Patrick's Day on the 17th. Is that correct? Okay. Any other business to come before the study commission tonight that we haven't covered this afternoon?
Oh, you know what? I spent quite a lot of time again with IT, and I have permissions now to change our little page on the study commission page within the city's website. So take a look at that. I've corrected your email address. I noticed today it was incorrect. And I've added email addresses for the commissioners, has your terms, has a little chart on there. If there's anything else that you think should be on there, let me know. Of course, there are buttons for the agenda and the minutes that people can get to and things like that. But if there's anything else that you all think we should have on that page for public consumption, let me know, because I now have the permissions to add it.
Cindy.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Kim, for that. How do we navigate to that? Because I tell you, I go on that BSB website, it makes me want to
I get that.
do something. I won't say
Yes.
what.
So when you go to the homepage,
Okay.
you go to home. If you look under the government, I believe it's under the chief executive. On the left-hand side, we actually have our own little tab there that says, I think we're called the Butte-Silver Government Study Commission. So don't go to like commissions and boards. Go one more down or two more down and click on that, and it'll go directly to us. You can probably, I'm guessing, start at Google as well. You can test it, and that might take you directly to it. If you type in Butte-Silver Government Study Commission 2025, it might go directly to there. But once you're on our home site, you should be able to see us under the government, not departments, but under government, chief executive,
Okay.
And then we're on that left-hand side. Or
Oh.
I'll send you a link too.
Oh, awesome. All right. Magic word link.
I'll send everybody the link.
I have an extra copy of the budget here.
Yeah, I do too.
Did anyone not get this?
I've got an extra one too, so. And an extra agenda.
And I do every week, I think there were 5 of you that requested printed out copies of like the agenda and the minutes and everything. So those go in your box. When I email them out, I put 5 copies in there to be picked up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick ask of all of you, if you go home and start thinking about how we can get our message out to folks. In talking with Mike Smith at the Standard, we discussed a banner, you know, when they have a breaking news banner on their homepage, maybe something with the study commission, but, you know, any kind of ideas you have of what maybe local radio can do, or papers can do, or Facebook pages, or other social media, if you come up with any ideas, just email them to the group, and that way I can drill down on some of these ideas, just a cursory, you know, look, see, but yeah, anything you guys can think of would be great. Thanks.
I'm happy to do like a weekly press release as well, just to say, yeah, I'm very happy to do that also. I think I still have all my old contacts for everybody in the world.
Mr. Chair, just a question or suggestion. When we adjourn, does the questions committee want to take 5 minutes and come up with an attack plan before we? Great.
Any other business before the commission? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
And then number 4 is, you know, do we have an organizational chart? We already have that, we don't need to know that. What is the present rate of compensation of each elected official? We can ask one, is because you want to do it just for the chief executive? Is that something we want to be specific? Well, the other thing that I thought is like asking each department who gets there. Yeah, should we just leave that to Karen? Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's a good point. And so then, 6 is what is the total budgeted appropriation, for all property tax supported funds, not including fee-based utility funds for the present fiscal year? Do you think that that would be? To me, this almost seems like a Karen Hassler question, where I'm talking about, here, if you could read it, it's number 6. Oh, okay, well, we can ask what each department what is.
Because, like, say, a number of fire departments, it's what you ask for to have up to a village. Right? Once you use the cabinet, then it might not even be enough.
So, for the chief executive, let's focus just on Adam. But how about for the chief executive? So you want me to ask, do you want us to keep this question?